everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jennifer and today we are playing with Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Nudegasm face palette, and I'll also be bringing out a whole bunch of the Super Nudes products that came out with this and one that I already had in my collection. So if you're interested in seeing that and possibly a sneak peek of holiday, just stay tuned. So hey everyone, pulling the hair back. Today we have Charlotte Tilbury. Today we have the Nudegasm palette and we have some of the Super Nudes products. I actually have the Super Nudes Easy Eye palette that I already had in my collection. I picked this up last year? I honestly don't know, but I already had it. So I know it's part of what you're seeing as part of like the collection that she has on her site right now, but I already had this. I don't think there's a difference. I think it's the same thing. I picked up one of the Super Nudes matte lipsticks, and the one that I picked up was Super Fabulous. And then I picked up what I think is the Kissing formula, which is in Runaway Royalty. So those are the two lips that I have. I also did pick up the dual liner. I do have the dual liners that she has. I have like the blue one, the green one, the maroon one, there's a copper one, which I really do like. And so this one is in, I have the black and like gold one, which is really pretty. This one, it's like, I forgot what the names were. It was slightly different. It was not exactly the same as the one that I already had. I'll figure out the names and I'll show you that in a minute. And then I am going to show you a couple of sneak peeks. So this is the Instant Eye Palette Smoky Eyes Are Forever palette, which should be coming out soon. And I can do a dedicated video to this and compare it to the other ones that I have. Eyes to Mesmerize. Wow. And some others, like I have a couple of her palettes. If you're interested in me doing that. I think this is coming out holiday time. Not absolutely sure about that. And then the other ones are the Cosmic Pearl and the Celestial Pearl. These are the luxury palette of pearls. And let me show you those. There's this one. And this is the Cosmic Pearl. That's what the cover looks like. And then the other one is the Celestial Pearl. And it looks like this. And again, the covering is the same. I think those are all holiday. Well, at least I think they're holiday. So I asked you guys on Instagram, I was like, are you interested in me picking this up? I don't have any other of her face palettes. I don't have the Lightgasm. I don't have the Lovegasm, the Glowgasm, whatever they all were. I didn't pick up any of them. But I asked all of you if you'd be interested in me picking this one up. And it was very close. It was like 52 to 48% or something like that. So I did pick it up. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick it up. And when I was looking at it and then looking at the eyeshadows in the Super Nudes and the lipstick in the Super Nudes and this whole sort of supermodel, theme that Charlotte Tilbury has had actually since her beginning, because she was a makeup artist for a lot of supermodels, I was like, all right, what I'm going to do with this, this was my ideas. I'm going to try to create what you would consider a 90s supermodel look. And what that brought to mind, at least for me, was Cindy Crawford. Cindy Crawford, for me, was the epitome of the supermodel of the 90s. Like, that's what came to mind. And so I looked up a bunch of pictures, and it's pretty much as I remember it. Stunningly beautiful woman, and no matter what I do, I'm not going to look anything like Cindy Crawford, but I can mimic her makeup style, or at least the makeup style that, you know, many of the makeup artists, including Charlotte Tilbury, are emulating with the supermodel shades and collections. So I'll put up a couple of the pictures that I'm talking about. And when you see the looks, you know, it's a simplified look. There's not actually a lot of color. There's a bit of sort of a matteness almost. The eyes are very, very simple. They have, you know, like a deep smokiness around the eye, but there's not a lot of color. Unlike the 80s, which had a lot of color. So I am going to kind of create that look today, and we'll see how it goes. Let's see what happens. I'd say two things. One, there wasn't a ton of contouring going on at the time, but what they did do is contour with their blush. That was mostly what happened. This palette has two different contour shades in it, and, you know, I think one of them will work really well as a contour. I think the other one would work better as a bronzer, but I'm going to kind of concentrate it as it would have been done in the 90s look, or at least I'm going to attempt to do that. We will see how well that works. So I'm going to put on foundation and do my eyebrows, and then we will come back and I will show you all of the products that I picked up. All right, so we have a blank canvas. We have foundation on, and I purposely chose the Chanel Latent, Ultra Latent foundation that I've actually just picked up because I wanted something that had more of that matte finish. I did not use any concealers or correctors or anything because I really do want this to be about Charlotte Tilbury, but I don't have a Charlotte Tilbury foundation that I think would work. The Charlotte Tilbury foundation that I have is the like dewy one. I can't think of the Light Wonder foundation, which I don't think is right for the look that I'm trying to do today. So let's go ahead and dive into the face palette. So as I showed you, this is the Nudegasm palette. I don't have other ones to compare it to, so I can't compare it for you, but I can swatch it. So we've got the highlighter, which is a traditionally gold highlighter. We've got the blush, which looks like a pretty pigmented peachy blush. It's got some shimmer to it. We've got the deeper contour shade that I think is a little more, it's a little warmer. I think they both lean cool, which works well for me, but not everyone's cup of tea, I know. I mean, if they're called contours, I think they should be cool, but, you know, I'm sure a lot of people wanted to kind of use it as like a bronzer slash contour. Okay. Those are the shades, and remember, I'm very pale. I'm light. When you look at like the scale of foundations, I always come out as light or fair light. So these are not going to show up on a deeper skin tone. I certainly wouldn't call them universal. My understanding is the other palettes did have different, there were different shades. Like they had one, a deeper one and a lighter one. I'm not sure why that didn't happen this time. Let's take the lighter contour and start with that one. So like I said, I'm kind of have some pictures here. I put a few up that you guys could see. And if you look at the pictures, like I said, the look is pretty, I don't want to say monochromatic, but they're not, I mean, like every once in a while she'll have like a red lip, but it's fairly, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess neutral is the best way to say it. Just, you know, it's a very, that was the 90s. It's just a neutral look. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in with the lighter shade. I'm using a Sonia G mini base brush. And we are going to contour. Now, I don't usually contour as much as we're going to contour today. So this is going to be fun. I mean, if I'm going to have, you know, even the chance of looking like the 90s look, one of the things was that there wasn't like contour like we have it today, like the Kim Kardashian contour, but there was contouring being done with blush products a lot of the time and deeper shades like this. You know, just because it became popular does not mean these things weren't done before. They were. It's just, it was done just differently. But from the beginning, there has always been an attention on trying to make your face look more symmetrical, cut your cheekbones, you know, all of that. So there's no such thing, nothing's new, no such thing as new. All of it's been done before, it's just been done differently. And there wasn't the contour palettes back in the day. You just sort of, you know, did the best with what you had. So I'm also taking the shade and like cutting the edges of my face like this, because what that does is it narrows and focuses the attention here. That's really all contouring is. It's light theory. I've mentioned it before. You ever took an art class, you know, that's all it is. You can emphasize or de-emphasize parts of your face. That's pretty much it. And if you're very talented, like say a Kevin Aquan was, you can actually make somebody's bone structure look different based on the way you shaded it, which I always was amazed at the way he did that. I was always like, wow, I mean, you know, I really haven't spent any time in my life trying to do that, but he was very good at it. And all I'm doing now is literally like contouring the outside lines of my face to get a more angular look. You can see. Now I'm going to take the shade and actually contour my nose a lot more than I normally would do. Okay, got a contoured face going here. Next step is I'm going to take the deeper one and contour even more. So Aileen from Merch Beauty is going to love this. I am using denser brushes when I do this, like these types of brushes, because I'm trying to get a harsher almost contour. I don't really want it to be fluffy, so I'm trying not to use my like fluffy brushes. Okay, I'm going to use the Sonia G. This is the base brush from the new collection. You wouldn't necessarily think that this will work, but the reason I'm using it is because I can do this with it. It actually works well for what I'm trying to do today. And again, I'm using the deeper shade and going a little bit above where the other shade was. Now, as I said, I'm trying to do this sort of like 90s throwback thing, but you know, if you like this look, you can do this now. It's not like, you know, just because it's not the 90s anymore. You can certainly, and I know people do, like I know people spend a lot of time on their contouring, and I don't, because I don't have the time. And I don't have the inclination, frankly. I'm always just like, it's good enough. I'm not gonna bother. But, you know, it absolutely does work. Like, you do get a contoured look at the end. I'm gonna buff these things in, but yeah, I mean, absolutely works. And if I actually had, you know, the inclination to spend time on it, I would. All right, so I'm taking the deeper shade and I'm gonna put that over the shade I already have on my nose, but I'm just gonna put it like very specifically, very narrowly here. You can see how that made it even more narrow. When I blend it all out, it won't look so harsh. At the moment, I look kind of like a Halloween character, but we'll get there. All right, so the blush. So again, I'm looking at the pictures and, you know, there's blush, but there's not like a ton of blush. If I look at these pictures, there's not a lot of blush. And there's a little bit, but it's mostly contour, or at the time, you know. So I'm gonna take the, which brush should I use? I wanna use a fluffy brush because I don't wanna use a lot. I don't wanna have a lot. I'm gonna use the KZ 05 for the highlight, and let's use the KZ 03 for the cheek. By the way, I finally did get the KZ 01 thanks to Judy. Thanks, Judy, who was able to get it for me. So I now have a full KZ set. I am very, very excited. I mean, I can't even tell you how excited I am. So I have all the KZ brushes now. Now, of course, I want, you know, like a backup of each because I'm crazy. But yeah, they are my favorite brushes. They're not necessarily great for this look because these are very soft, but for everything else I do, they're phenomenal. All right, so like I said, I'm following the contour lines more than anything else. Usually my blush is much higher. This is much lower than my blush usually is. And then I'm gonna do this little U thing here. And I've been doing this with the contour as well. And what this does is kind of gives this little cheek area, it lifts it and makes it look like it's more cut than it is, which it just isn't. And so the highlight, there wasn't a lot of highlight, but I'm gonna use the KZ, is it a KZ 03? Yeah, KZ 03. And we will use a little bit of highlight here because I want you to see the palette. It is a very gold highlight, and it is very pretty. It's not really my type of highlight because I tend to like a cool toned highlight, but I'm mostly gonna use it here for contouring my nose. All right, so let me buff this in so it doesn't look so harsh, and then we will do the eye look. Okay, lots of brushes. I'm using lots of brushes today. It's not bad. So that is the palette used to really look more like a 90s supermodel look. Much more of the contour cut kind of look and sculpting. The shades work really well on me. Again, though, I am what you might consider light, fair to light or light. So I think they work great on somebody with my skin tone, but deeper skin tone, I don't really think that's gonna cut it. So that's just my take. Although I don't know, we'd have to see. The liner, the eyeliner, let me show you the shades. One is a inner corner slash waterline, and the other is the brown smoky shade that you see on Cindy Crawford quite often back in 90s. So I will use that and smoke that out. I'll use the lighter liner, you know, to like brighten up the eye. So let's get into, this is the, like I said, the Super Nudes Easy Eye Palette. And it's really clear how this works. You basically, it's a satiny matte formula. It actually looks pretty good on mature skin, or at least it does on mine. And it's a basic look, sure, but you know, it works really well if you're trying to do a simple contoured eye look. It's relatively easy to do. Yeah, it's just not, I mean, it's not complicated to be honest. But you know, it depends on what you're looking for. So I am going to follow a Charlotte Tilbury direction, which is she'll say 1, 2, and 3, and she'll say like put this shade all over the eye, like prime the eye with it, enhance it with this, and then smoke it out with this. So that's what we're gonna do. And again, if you look at pictures, and hopefully I had popped up some pictures of Cindy Crawford because I had meant to. If I didn't, then, you know, oh well. You can see she actually has more of a heavy lidded eye. So she wasn't known for having, you know, super complicated eye looks. They were mostly pretty simple. And I think, you know, she was more known, I mean, all of them were famous because they were all stunningly beautiful women, but she was more known for her hair and the mole and her smile. It wasn't really about her eyes per se. She had, I mean, she has beautiful eyes, don't get me wrong. I just mean, there weren't a lot, like makeup artists weren't doing, you know, super colorful eye looks on her because she didn't have a lot of eyelid space to, you know, do something really like complicated and colorful. You don't have to have a lot of space to do those things. I just mean that's not what they were enhancing really on her. Some of the other models, they did more of that with, and I'm trying to, you know, Linda Evangelista, Naomi Campbell, Claudia Schiffer didn't really do, you know, and it was also the time, right? I mean, like I said, it was the 90s. The 80s were all about the very colorful, crazy, you know, green mascara, that kind of stuff. The 90s was a much more subdued, almost matte-like look to the makeup. Not always, but there's a lot of it. Okay, so we've got that on. Then we'll take the second shade and enhance. And when she says enhance, she really means enhance the crease, outer corners, and then you smoke it with the deepest shade. The one thing I will say about Charlotte Tilbury and the reason she became Charlotte Tilbury with her own brand and a huge following is that her makeup, whether you want to call it Starbucks pumpkin spice latte basic or not, and I use that because somebody was actually saying that to me yesterday. They were like, well, they were saying, well, I'm not going to just go, you know, get a pumpkin spice latte. And I was like, I don't drink coffee, but I'm like, I like pumpkin spice. What's wrong with pumpkin spice? But anyway, we won't go down that road. But my point is, I get the whole, you know, it's like, but you should like what you like. Don't worry about what other people think of you. If you like it, then do it. If you don't like it, don't try to live up to somebody else's expectations, because frankly, you can't anyway. There's always going to be someone who's going to judge you for something. So, but the reason, and that was my little rant, but the reason she became so successful is a lot of her makeup is what you might consider, quote, basic. And you have these like 1, 2, 3, follow this, you know, you'll get a makeup look, but it works because that's what most of us want. Most of us want to enhance the features that we have and have our faces look good. And that's about it. Most of us are not Cindy Crawford. I'm speaking for myself here when I say that. Maybe all of you out there are Cindy Crawford. And if you are, good for you, because she's stunning. But most of us, you know, feel like we have our good days and our bad days, and we're like, yeah, sometimes I look good, sometimes I don't. And you just want to look your best. And what Charlotte Tilbury has always been able to do is, you know, create makeup that most people can use, make you look your best. And I think that's a great thing. So I'm a big fan of Charlotte Tilbury. My only issue with Charlotte Tilbury lately is that she's just, or the brand has been coming out with so many things. I feel like it's hard to keep up. And I also feel like when you get that many, I think sometimes the quality can wane. I'm not saying Charlotte Tilbury specifically has. I'm just saying, you know, I'd rather see fewer products and be more excited about them than a product all the time. But that's just me. All right, so those are the two shades. I mean, look how great that looks. It's a, you know, really good. It's a really good look. It makes your eyes pop. It's really good for me because it has kind of a coppery shade, which makes blue eyes look really good. I like it. I'm going to put the liner on, and then I'm going to take that smoke shade, the third shade, and smoke it out. And then we'll put on some mascara. All right, so let's use the inner rim first. Now this was something I did back in the day. I did have I think it was white eyeliner. I'm pretty sure it was CoverGirl, to be honest with you. Almost positive it was CoverGirl. Yeah, that works really well. It's a nice creamy shade. It does brighten. I like it. Again, I don't usually take that step in my makeup, but I don't take this contouring step in my makeup either. So today is, I figured let's not just do a regular like review. Let's do something fun. Like, not that my reviews aren't fun, but you know what I mean? Like, let's try to create a look. So we're doing the 90s look. All right, so I'm gonna use the brown shade, and I'm gonna put on the lower lash line and upper lash line, and then I'm gonna put the eyeshadow shade on top of it and smoke it out. All right, let's take the eyeshadow shade, smoke it out. There we go. Kind of create a little bit, I don't really do wings necessarily, but like there was a little bit of a lift on the outer corners. Nice. Okay. So I'm gonna curl my lashes, put on mascara, and then we will come back and do the lip. Okay, so we have eyes done, face done, supermodel hair, really big hair. Again, picture, big hair. All good so far. Let me show you the 2 shades of lipstick, and I think we'll use the matte one today with the look, but we'll have to see. The runway one is gonna be the one I think I'm gonna like more, like just me, like what I would wear on a daily basis, but let's see. Let's put it on the hand. Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a me shade. That is the runway shade. It is, what is it again? Runway Royalty. And then we have Super Fabulous. And that is Super Fabulous. Okay, here we go. I love the smell of Charlotte Tilbury lipsticks. I don't know what the scent is, but I love it. So there is the Super Fabulous. I really like it. It's a really good shade. It's a shade that I actually will wear, which makes me happy because I was like, what if I get it and I like really hate it? But no, I do. I like it. I think it looks good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I am gonna line my lips a little bit because back in the 90s, everyone overlined their lips. It was just a thing. I think I have an Iconic Nude, Pillow Talk 2, Hollywood Honey. So Love Trap, or maybe Iconic Nude also. I think Love Trap actually. It's got a little bit more pink in there. There we go. Okay, almost done. I think we need one more thing. Okay, 90s look, 90s supermodel look. What do you think? Of course, have to have the beauty mark. I mean, you can't do a 90s supermodel look using Cindy Crawford as your muse unless you have the beauty mark. I mean, come on. So all in all, hopefully you enjoyed this. Hopefully it was fun. The Nudegasm palette it's a good palette. I think it works really well. I think it's definitely meant though for fair, light, maybe light medium skin tones. I don't think it's going to work particularly well on somebody who has a deeper skin tone because the shades work really well on me and the contour works well. And I think if you're a deeper skin tone, this is not going to show up. Maybe I'm wrong. So, you know, but I'm just, from what I can see. The shades blended really well. Everything is smooth and beautiful, finely milled. I really like the Super Nudes collection, the liner, the lipsticks. The two that I picked up are great shades for me. They're one of the few matte lipsticks that I can wear. I don't love them, but I can wear these matte lipsticks. They're pretty comfortable, actually. I like the new Sukus better, but these are pretty good. For a matte, like, this is the kind that I could wear. The Super Nudes eyeshadow palette, the Easy Eye palette, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's an easy eye palette to use. It creates yes, a basic look, but there's nothing wrong with that. I think it looks really good. The liner, I actually really like this liner for the brown shade that's in here. I have these dual liners in every other shade, so I definitely was going to pick that up. And like I said, I like the lip shades. So I think we're all good. If you want a dedicated video with the Smoky Eyes Are Forever palette that hasn't come out yet, and a comparison to the ones that I have in my past, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know in the comments below. The Pearl palettes, I will have videos coming out for those soon. Those are supposed to be holiday releases, so I'm gonna wait a little while for those. All right, guys. I really need to go on a Zoom call like this. Anyway, all right. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I really do appreciate it. Hope to see you in another video really soon.